Jam on toast!
Hey there, welcome to Jam. I'm Cameron. Today the toast is 2, Red vs. Blue, Season 8. Now this is a review for week 41 of #We Are Movie Club. This week's pick was mine. So the short sell on this one is that the Reds go to save Simmons. Everyone kind of follows Church to go find a solution to deal with Washington and the meta, and to get a couple answers along the way. What I love it for this one is that we finally get introduced to Mocap, and I think this is really where Charlie's going to come in and just be wowed by it. The aesthetic appeal, I think, is really what limits Red vs. Blue, because the farther along in the future we go, the worse and worse Season 1 looks. And while I can still watch it okay, a lot of people have issues with that. Of course, I'd probably watch this in 8-bit. But I hate it was Sarge quitting the way he did. It's very impressive that he can build a pillow fort that fast, but it just seemed totally out of character, and that was the point. But I like Sarge. I don't want to see him go out of character. The MVP of this was, of course, Church, voiced by Bernie Burns. I don't know if I've been mentioning who the voice actor is or not, but Church very much takes the lead of this and takes us to all the answers and takes us to all the discovery, and it's Meta and Wash hunting down Epsilon, and Caboose trying to get a hold of Church, and Tucker going along for the ride, and aliens worshiping Church, and the Reds trying to figure out what the hell the Blues are actually doing, and find some answers once they realize the futility of it all. But let's head on to the categories.
Aesthetics.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! We finally got Mocap. Oh, it's so awesome to see that. The way they use it is just so smart. They actually still have very video game-esque backgrounds and stuff when they're doing the Mocap, if not using the same background. Literally, I guess, filming the blank scene or recording the blank scene and then putting the Mocap in on top of it. And they do it really well. I can't even tell that they don't line up if they do. Otherwise, they just did an excellent job. But I love that we're using that. Hook and cable gets used a lot. The whole thing with the wall was neat just to see if they could do it, I think. The same with the Jeep was fantastic. Oh my god! That last fight scene. And the first in the warehouse. Oh, yes, yes, yes. It makes you just want more of that over and over and over. And I'm not saying that we're done with it, but you can't realistically do that for another 2 seasons worth of stuff and still have a story. Halo 3 still holds up to me. You still got a pretty large amount of the screen available. It looks good. They use it well. They know how to do the shots. Especially, I want to mention that, especially in the very beginning, they try to put as much gray behind Washington and Meta as possible. In the desert, they even put the Park of Behemoth behind them so that it's them against the gray background still, or it's them against the wall that Doc's stuck in. They do such a good job of maintaining that throughout, and then towards the end of it, you start seeing some differences with how they're used. I don't want to spoil it, but particularly that last scene with that one guy. Aesthetics get to 96.
Character development.
You would think after 7 seasons we wouldn't have any more development, but we've got this whole investigation into the director and why Phyllis thinks Church is the director. It's not a total spoiler because it's basically the second half of the season, but just trying to investigate and find out information on Church and Tex and the other freelancers, and we're digging stuff up, we're getting new information which changes everything. We have Sarge and the Reds kind of having this realization that, maybe we are just sim troopers. What can we do to be more than that? So everybody kind of gets battle-inspired. I really like that, that everybody stepped up to the plate. We even see developments with Doc, who we haven't seen in a while. Meta, even, or the Meta, because Agent Main's just this crazy person at this point. You can't even refer to him as a real person. He's just the Meta. So he's still going strong, and Washington has a huge character development in this that most people, I don't think, would have saw coming. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but yeah, character development gets a 90.
Storyline.
This isn't quite as good a story as Season 6. It's got that same overtone of seriousness, with these goofball characters being the main cast of it. And the whole serious hunt for Wash and Meta chasing them down. Other people getting involved for such a big battle. And just trying to resolve everything and get it taken care of. It's wonderful to have it. And that's what I like. I seeing action as action. I like seeing action delivered as a drama or a comedy with action in it. And the opposite side of that same coin is to do an action thing that is funny as opposed to trying to make it to be a comedy itself. So what we kind of have is an investigative drama that happens to be funny, and that's where I think my jam with this is. Storyline gets a 90.
Compulsion.
I really found myself glued to the screen. I don't know how many times I've actually watched this stuff in the past, but anytime the Mocap stuff came on, I was just like, oh. I got that excited, no joke. All the stuff, even with the stupid stuff with the aliens and worshipping church as this spherical god, it's fantastic. I really get into it, and the jokes are just as funny as season 3 is what I keep thinking of when I think of 7 and 8. And I think the humor is really good. I think it's mixed in well. We still have that seriousness, that inquisitive nature that gets me involved. And honestly, I love this. I love this so much. Compulsion gets a 98. Now, if you total all that up, you get an average of 93.5. For my wrap-up review, I've got to say, seasons 6, 7, and 8 are supposed to be written as a trilogy. This is a great way to end that trilogy. Now, that trilogy is part of a larger saga, if you will, of what's happening in everything from 5 to 10. Seasons 9 and 10, admittedly, have some surprises to their format coming up, and we'll talk about that in a couple weeks. This was just great. It was funny where it needed to be funny. It was a mystery where it needed to be a mystery. It had the action above anything we've seen in the series so far. And I just hope you love it as much as I do. Once again, this was a review for #WeAreMovieClub. This week's pick was mine. Next week's pick is Charlie, and we're doing Van Helsing. I really like this. I think this will feed your action thrill. I think this will be good if you like vampires or zombies or whatever have you. Anything in the necrotic family. It'll be a good time. I know I've seen it before. I have not done a review on it, but it's about time, don't you think? So why don't you go ahead and watch it. Include the hashtag. Hopefully we'll find you. You can yell at us on the Twitters at WeAreMovieClub, and hopefully we'll run into each other. Well, that's it for me. I'm Camerai. You don't like me, bite me.
If you want to see anything else we're up to, go ahead and click the annotations